I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama in Petronila. From veterans assistance to home reconstruction and everything in between, there's assistance for those impacted by recent storms. Weeks later, and Petronila families are still picking up the pieces. But this time, they're not doing it alone.
How can we help you?
No, I'm looking around.
Now groups and organizations are stepping in to help, offering tools and resources.
And so I'm grateful now that we have a lot of organizations, like we have the TDEM and the Women's Health Services and Public Health are all coming to offer some service and some help and some guidance.
What we're most proud to push is our fortified roofing product, where right now there is funds available to help people. If their roof is deemed beyond repair, we can step in and we can potentially put a new roof on your house.
If you didn't get to visit the Resource Information Center, you can call the Nueces County Office of Emergency Management. I have that number right here. It's 361-888-0513. Reporting in Petronila, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama for Chris 6 News.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Jim Wells County. After nearly 2 weeks of trying to recover from a storm, some homeowners are meeting and talking with federal and state agencies on ways they might be able to get some help. Those homeowners tell me at this point, anything is better than nothing. Luna welcomed representatives from the U.S. Small Business Association and the Texas Division of Emergency Management, along with the Jim Wells County judge, to her porch. County Judge Pete Trevino Jr. says it's beneficial for as many agencies as possible to get an up-close and personal look at the damage. Another disaster assistance center will be held tomorrow at the county fairgrounds from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. for those impacted by the severe weather. In Jim Wells County, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, Chris 6 News.
The Port of Corpus Christi says it's listening to the people and to the science. I'm Suzanne Stevens. Port commissioners announced changes in their desalination plan today that could move brine discharge away from the ship channel and into the Gulf.
Motion carries.
A round of applause, and just like that, the port's desalination pivot is official. The original permit would have allowed 50 million gallons of treated wastewater a day to flow into the ship channel near Harbor Island, something environmental groups and the EPA warned could harm sensitive ecosystems. The new plan sends discharge offshore and doubles the volume to 100 million gallons a day. But not everyone is celebrating. Environmental groups want more focus on conservation and reuse, options they believe haven't been fully explored.
Port commissioners expect the Gulf discharge permit sometime later this year. Once they have it, they'll scrap the earlier permit for Harbor Island. In Corpus Christi, I'm senior neighborhood news reporter Suzanne Stevens, Chris 6 News.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter here in Flower Bluff. New construction along Waldron Road has led to some sandy conditions for some nearby neighbors. And the worst of it created this 22-inch pile of sand. And I went to find out who's responsible for this.
24 inches.
Corey Horton says the neighborhood on Amber Drive near Waldron and Graham Road has been dealing with an annoying problem. Sand from a construction site next door blowing onto neighbors' yards and into the air. Under City Code Article 14-801, windblown dust, soil, or sand must be contained on construction sites. As I was speaking to the contractor, he agreed to remove all the sand and install a silt fence to control the blowing sand. Do you think, had I not have gotten involved with, talking to him, would this have been fixed today?
No, we'd have 3 foot by Monday.
It's unclear whether the silt fence will be built along the entire neighborhood's fence line, but we'll be sure to keep you updated. In Flower Bluff, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
Texas Parks and Wildlife and Texas game wardens are spreading awareness for National Safe Boating Week. I'm Erin Hawley, your Padre Island neighborhood news reporter, going for a boat ride with some game wardens to learn about the rules of the water.
Last year in Texas alone, there were 169 boating accidents with 24 water deaths. 22 of those victims were not wearing life jackets.
Texas game wardens will have extra patrol boats out on the water around the coastal bend this weekend. Reporting from the Laguna Madre, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Erin Hawley, Chris 6 News.